Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the broadcast. Today, I am glad I am able to come to you to share with you briefly what is going on out there as far as our story is concerned. But particularly, I come to you to speak to you about our conference that is coming up in 2 days. In 2 days, our conference, the ASSC, that is coming up in 2 days in Berlin, Germany. I am so glad you are here, and I want to particularly apologize to Ground Zero. ABC signals were disrupted for a day for technical reasons, but we are glad everything is up and running, and we will be able, I can formally announce to you, we will be able to bring you all the activities going on in Berlin to you. So please stay tuned on Ground Zero. We will bring everything from Berlin live to you. Thank you once more for joining. I will give a few minutes, and then I will come to you with this presentation. It's going to be an impromptu presentation, and what I'm going to do something a little special today, and what I want to do is open the phone lines for people to call in and ask questions about the ASSC, about the interim government, and about anything that you may want to know about the interim government out there. So please, let's stay tuned. I will give a few minutes for you to populate the platform so I can come to you. All right. I'm going to beg you for 2 minutes to get one thing right here. I will have some music on, but give me 2 minutes to get something right here so I can come back to you. Thank you. So please stay tuned. I will be right back in not more than 2 minutes. Thank you.
Joe, my Mila Bajo, even Nathan Rocco. They were giving home. Oh, they were giving home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for staying tuned. I am right back and ready to roll. So please go ahead and you hit your share button while I prepare to come to you with the presentation. Go ahead, hit your share button, please. Go ahead, hit your share button. All right. Go ahead and you hit your share button as you join. And as I prepare to come to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and you hit your share button. And as I prepare to come to you. All right, again, thank you very much for joining. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am not going to keep you waiting. Go ahead, keep on inviting others as you join. But again, I want to especially thank Ground Zero for their patience for waiting for ABC to come back on the air. All right, I will be speaking to you today on a number of subjects. They are just impromptu subjects, but most especially the ASSC that is coming up in Berlin. In Berlin, 2 days from now. That is the talk of the time. That is indeed the state of the revolution. So please go ahead, hit your screen. Let me know, see who is joining. And what I'm going to do today, I will speak very briefly. I will talk very briefly and open the phone line. You got any question about the ASSC? ASSC stands for Ambazonia Stakeholders Consultative Conference. Ambazonia Stakeholders Consultative Conference. So that is it. So please, I'm going to take your questions wherever that you may be, as far as you can reach me. That will be awesome. In the course of time, I will be giving you the phone number with which you can call. For the moment, let me see who is joining. Louis Foya, my own very chief of staff, you are the one I see first today. Thank you for joining from the Queensland. I see Cliff Anway. Thank you, sir. Zoe Anderson, 2,000% on Dr. Sako and the IG. You are great, sir. Thank you. Don't worry about all that you hear out there. I see Avery Nago. Your names are hard to pronounce, but he says, love you. Thank you so very much. I see Vitaly, he says, Sanji is watching. Let me know if you're watching on ABC, on Ground Zero, and what town or city, village you are watching from, please. FRs, always my favorite here on this platform. I see you, ma'am. Say, Chris, get the IG out of DCMOU. I observed that from the last show you kept on saying this. I'd like to know if you can call me when I'm live. Call me and ask what you think is wrong with the DCMOU. I hope you can come through the phones when they are open. All right. And is it Anne? I missed that one. African King, I see you. Sonship. Abraham Bombo is watching. Mufu Baron is watching. Larry Cooper is also watching. Please go ahead. You hit that share button. Again, I have very little to talk today, but I would like to take as many of your calls as possible so that some of your doubts can be cleared, some of your concerns can be cleared about your interim government, about the ASSC, and maybe the MOU that FAS has been talking about, and maybe others out there. So please, I will give you the phone number when the time is due. Marcelos Jonina, thank you for joining. Wisdom Fighters, good evening, sir, and I appreciate the good work of the IG and our soldiers on ground zero. Thank you, Wisdom. JZ Light, see you. Amute Palakunia, I always see you here too. I also see my phone has crashed now. Give me a second. Hit your share button as you join, please. My phone just crashed. All right, it is back. Zoe Anderson, thank you for joining. Castro Labestrano, always here. Banky Thomas, say watching with you, thank you. Amute Palakunia, watching, say sends warm greetings, thank you. Indo Emmanuel, hi Mr. Chris, welcome once again. Thank you, sir, Mr. Indo. Mokam Noel, I see you. Say, welcome back, thank you. Geoffrey Abono, I see, say the voice that makes La République du Cameroon panic. I hope it is, and I hope they do. Gancho Divine, my own very committed member of the department. Danson, always here too. I see you. King Kim David, always here too. I see Rianatan Princess Esele. Thank you, Rianatan. So we love you, Secretary Chris. I am glad to hear that. I love hearing that. It stirs me up. Okay? All right, please go ahead. Keep on. If you are just joining, please share, hit your share button. Again, I am not going to be talking a lot today. I want you to do the talking. I want you to do the questioning, and I promise to take every one of your question. And when you call, please don't, if you stay for more than 2 minutes on the phone, I will cut you off so that we can have as many people as possible call and ask whatever question that they may want to ask. So when you call, remember, there are others waiting online who want to call too. All right, Florence Cool, I see you. Etai Christian is watching. Felicia Oben, I always see you here, Felicia. Thank you for joining again today. Benelli Pascal, go, I see you. Paddy King, thank you for joining, sir. Harry Taylor, I see you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hit your share button. And again, thanks for joining today. First of all, I'd like to give a special shout and a special thank you to our boys out there in FACO. I am referring here to the restoration forces of FACO in particular. And of course, all of them on ground zero in the northern zone and in the southern zone. But the ones in FACO are the ones I want really to give a special appreciation for what they have done out there in Victoria, in Boya, in Moyoka. I mean, their feet put out to sabotage, to frustrate this so-called FESTAC that is ongoing in our territory in Victoria. You will recall that about 2 weeks ago, I came out here and essentially stated that we have banned that festivity. They refused to listen to us and they went on to hold it. And I have seen some people who say, oh, it is going on as planned, it is going on as usual. Of course, FESTAC is not about parades and the raising of flags, the green, red, yellow flag. We have outlawed. We have outlawed that flag in our territory. It's a foreign flag. It's a foreign flag. And for Victoria, for the so-called mayor or government delegate to have allowed those things to be paraded on our streets, I think that it isn't short from an abomination. And so, however, I want to say to those who believe that Festac has been successful to know it was not near. It wasn't near their expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing was a camera event. Did they succeed in that? I think they did for the camera event. I mean, I heard somebody who told me some international media is out there projecting for others to see how there is peace in Amazonia because of Festac, because of the images, the pictures coming from Festac. And I knew that is what they wanted to do all along. You know, bring their cameras, CRTV, and others will come out and project those images to the rest of the world, and the world will see and assume that everything is going on well in Amazonia. And they will say it's only a pocket few who are causing trouble. And that is a message that Mr. Biya always want the world to know. That only a few terrorists, a few pockets of resistance, 2 cubes of sugar indeed, are the ones causing trouble out there. That is the message they wanted to come out from Victoria. Did they succeed in that? I am not sure. Did they send out pictures, images, footages? Yes, I am sure they did. But listen, our boys in FACO did a fabulous job. They are still doing a fabulous job. Because just imagine for a moment, how many people would have been in Victoria if the lines were open between Tiko, Douala, Motengene, Victoria. If the lines were open from Kumba, Moyoka, Ekona, Moya, Motengene to Victoria, Boya, Motengene. Just imagine how many millions of people would have been down there in Victoria celebrating the so-called Festac if the boys had not shut down these major entrances into Victoria. So yes, I will say it again and again and again, anytime, any day, that the boys in FACO should be praised. Ladies and gentlemen, these are boys putting their own lives on the line to defend us, to defend our territory, to fight for our independence. You say you have given your money. Your money is not worth their lives. Your money is not worth the life they are putting on the line every day. Look at what La République du Cameroon is doing out there. We are seeing the continuous killings, the mayhems. We see some rotting in the bushes before people can even realize who have been killed. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially those of us in the diaspora, we can never do enough. We can never, ever give enough to back those boys on ground zero. FACO Restoration Forces, I owe you. You are wonderful. You are marvelous. You are brave. You are courageous. Because if you were not, there will be no way you will go inside Victoria to confront the enemy. But you did it. You continue to do so. I can always say you are the bravest. You are the custodians of this revolution. Thank you so very much. On behalf of this interim government, we want you to know we are looking out for you. And please, I always say to you, when I speak with you, I tell you, your security always must come first. We don't want you to fight, and when we get to Boya, you are not there. So please, your security always has to come first. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and hit that share button. So again, Fako, thank you so very much for your bravery out there in defending our territory and stopping this so-called first strike. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, let me see who is joining now. Fidelia Amber has joined. Thank you. Jonas Tanya. Thank you. Loveline Dora. Thank you for joining. All right. Hit your share button again as you join. I see Emma Harris in D4 has joined. I see okay, my screen is not rolling now. I see Inti Charles join. I see Richard Inchong also watching. Emmanuel Ayafo has also joined. Now, again, I'm not going to do a lot of talking today, but I want you to do the talking. Let me make a comment on the killings which we have seen coming out from Ambazonia in the past few days, committed by terrorist soldiers of La République du Cameroon occupying our territory. Fellow comrades, I do not know whether these killings mean anything to you. But I'd like you to know what they mean to me, and perhaps to this interim government. If there is anything that we can pick out from the killings that we see on the social media, the massive killings coming out from Ambazonia every day, perpetrated by French Cameroon soldiers, the one thing that I get is that, as I've said it again and again, we cannot give up. We cannot give up. If we give up, the blood of these young men and women who are being slaughtered on a daily basis, their images, those dead bodies that we see, they will live to haunt us. I do not know whether La République du Cameroon is thinking, after we have killed all of them, or many of them, after we have killed their children, after we have killed their husbands, after we have killed their wives, after we have killed their brothers and their sisters, then we are going to live with them. We cannot do that. We cannot do that. Anything that, the message we get from all the killings that we see is that we can never, ever go back to live with La République du Cameroon. Not after all these killings. Not after all these killings. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put on courage as we wake up every day to see these corpses all over the place. I've said this is war. We'll probably see more before we get there. But let's not forget that what La République du Cameroon is trying to do is to get us defeated psychologically, ever before they lay down their arms. And we cannot succumb to their psychological warfare. We must stand up and resist every ploy, resist every attempt that they employ to take away, to snatch victory from our hands. And let me talk a little bit about what Chief Mukete came out the other day and said, we have been reading the newspapers of Chief Mukete coming out, stomping the Sin House in Yaoundé called Senate, and decrying the regime in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that I must give to Chief Mukete. Chief Mukete, I think he is the only one in there, in that Sin House, who has been at least to an extent sympathetic and consistent with a demand for a kind of federation that gives power back to the people. The only problem that is embedded in what Chief Mukete is asking for is that the time for what he is asking for is gone. I remember ever before 2016, when this revolution started, Chief Mukete made it very clear that only a federal system would resolve the impasse that has been the marginalization, the colonization of Amazonia. That was before 2016. I remember visiting Cameroon and trying to talk with Chief Mukete. I just couldn't get him. But I spoke to some close aides of his, and he was very, very determined to fight for some kind of federation. And I am imagining, if Mr. Biya had accepted the offer, the suggestion from Chief Mukete then, before 2016, maybe we wouldn't be here today. My problem with Chief Mukete is that, number one, Chief Mukete is not understanding the concerns of his people. Chief Mukete, sir, we have gone past federation, sir. That was in your day. We won our own country. You have lived your time. You have lived your day. And do not think you can, at this moment, when you are about going back to your grave, recommending the form of state that governs us in this generation. You squandered your own generation by insisting to remain with French Cameroon in spite of all the marginalization, the colonization, the segregation, the tribalism. You choose to remain with French Cameroon. This is our time. And we are saying no to any form of federation. I don't care if they give 10 federation and they say to every state, go and elect your governor, go and elect your mayors, go and do what you want. I don't care about that. That doesn't give us an independent Southern Cameroon's Amazonia. Anything short of an independent Southern Cameroon's Amazonia is a no, sir. It's a no. So what Chief Mukete is prescribing right now in Yaoundé is a no-fly. It's a no-fly. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to the conference that we are having in Berlin coming up this week. That's a very important event, one of a kind, that will be taking place for the first time out of the USA. And a kind of event that we have not had since Naira Hotel in 2017. Every Amazonian is expected in Berlin. I am going to be there. I hope the president, the acting president, Dr. Sako, will make it there. And of course, every cabinet member is going to be there. All the local government executives elected are going to be there. All the country heads are going to be there. The Restoration Council members, they are going to be there. If anybody is not going to be there, it is not because they are left out. It is perhaps because of maybe the timing and other emergencies. But this event, I say they are going to be there because this event is open to every Ambazonian out there. And do not for a moment think that all the noise, the empty noise that you hear out there, and the empty declarations that you hear out there are going to stop this conference or stop the interim government. Those are people who have a lot of, what do they call it? Attention deficit problems. That's what I would call it. So, this event is open to every Ambazonian. And we are hoping that you, especially in Central and Western Europe, you will make it, even Eastern Europe, you will make it there. We want to see that place filled up to the brim and let the world see us. Stand, come out with a single message, and the message that we want nothing else but our own country. Now, this conference is very, very important in twofold. Number one, it is important to the interim government. Number two, it is important to what step that we take the struggle, or that the struggle takes. It is important to the interim government because we want to see the interim government come out of there revive, with a new spirit, with a new vision, with new faces, serving the struggle. And that is one of the importance of this event in Berlin. We are also hoping that coming out of Berlin, our people on ground zero will see a new direction. A few weeks ago, somebody was asking me, what is the roadmap? What is the roadmap going forward in the struggle? Will we get a roadmap in Berlin? The important thing is that you can be part of that roadmap. You can come out to Berlin and be part of the roadmap. That means you come out and you present your contributions, your ideas, you ask your questions, why certain things have been done the way they have been done, and why we cannot do it in a different way. That is why we want all of you, every one of you who can make it to Berlin. Do not sit there and when they come back from Berlin, you are like, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? You can come there and add your voice to whatever resolutions, whatever roadmap that comes out of there. That is why you being there is very, very, very important. We want to go there again, get a roadmap, and also revive. It is going to be a rebirth. That is why I call it the beginning of the end. Because we must come out of Berlin with a strategy that gives us victory in the nearer future. That is what Berlin is all about. And every one of you is encouraged to be there. I look forward to being there. I want to see you there. Let's reason together. Let's plan together. And let's save our country together. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to open the phone line. If you have any question about Berlin, about the interim government, about any important current subject, I will be more than glad to answer the question. So the phone number is, somebody can print it on your wall there, and you can get it. So the phone number you will want to call is 832-813-3067. Again, the number you want to call is 832-813-3067. So, all right, that is the number you can call and ask any question that you have in your mind. And if you can also post a question on the screen, you may be fortunate enough that I find the question. All right. All right. And when you call, please, I encourage you, ask an important question. If you are calling to ask provocative question, you can rest assured I will just cut you off. I won't waste time taking the question. So please go ahead and ask your question. Again, the number is 832-813-3067. Thank you. All right. I think this is the first caller, I guess. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, hi. Is this Secretary Chris?
This is Secretary Chris, ma'am. Can you raise your voice a little bit? Your volume is quite low.
Okay. I just have a question regarding the Berlin conference.
Okay?
Is the conference going to be focusing on the federation or the referendum? Is that what it is?
You're asking whether the conference is going to be focused on a referendum?
That's correct.
No, ma'am. We don't have, this interim government doesn't have anything like a referendum in our agenda. It is not even in our vocabulary. So no, we will not be talking about referendum.
Okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you. What's your name? Thank you for the call. All right. So again, of course not. The IG has nothing to do with the referendum. We are not talking referendum. We are talking independence. The IG does not endorse any referendum. Maybe things may change. Who knows? But as of now, we are not interested about a referendum. The number again is 813-3067. Hello? Hello? Hello, yes, you are on with Secretary Chris, please. Go ahead.
Yes. This is Titus. I'm calling from Kentucky. And
You are calling from Kentucky. Thank you, sir.
yeah, I want to ask if there a way you guys bring up these other guys together? Like, I mean, we have frontline leaders that don't want to join in any kind of way, like join a meeting or join the conference there in Berlin. So, have you guys done anything within your powers in the background to try to make sure they come together for the meeting?
Thank you. I want to hope that others are able to hear you. You are asking whether we've made any effort to bring other frontline leaders to Berlin. Remember, I have just stated that this event is for all Ambazonians. All Ambazonians, and if you are Ambazonian, whether a frontline leader or not, you are more than welcome to be in Berlin. But to answer your question very directly, yes, frontline leaders have actually been invited to Berlin. We are hoping that if all do not show up, at least some of them will show up. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you answered my question. I wish you guys the best over there. I wouldn't be opportune to be there with you guys. I keep you guys in prayer, and I hope for the better.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the call. All right. Yes, again, the conference is open to every Ambazonian frontline leader or no frontline leader. But you got to understand also that every one of us, I mean, the leaders, the frontline leaders do not have monopoly over wisdom and ideas. So this thing is not about any particular leader. It is about all of us. It is about all of us. So that is why we are asking every one of you to come in there. The first day, Friday is a plenary session. Friday is a plenary session. And so we're inviting everybody to be there on the first day where you can ask your questions at the plenary session and also participate and listen to the speakers. Hello?
Hello,
Hello, sir?
this is Leonard.
This is Leonard from Ground Zero.
Yeah.
If I see your Ground Zero number, thanks for calling, sir.
Yes, I wanted to ask if the conference is going to be broadcast live. I wasn't at the start of your broadcast this evening.
Yes, sir. The conference will be broadcast live. Ground Zero will be able to watch it live from ABC, of course. Both Facebook and ABC will broadcast the conference live from start to finish.
Oh, okay, thank you. And also one thing, I also wanted to give a clarification because there's a rumor down here, people saying our leaders are in Nigeria, but I consider it a rumor. I haven't got anything.
Our leaders are not in Nigeria is one of those social media rumor. We are not aware that that is true. They are not in Nigeria. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. Yes, ABC shall be broadcasting the ASSC conference live from Berlin, and ABC will be the only channel that will be carrying that. Again, the number is 832. The number is 832-813-3067. Hello?
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 Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. This is another call from Ground Zero. Where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, my name is Jude. I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Where in Ground Zero?
Yes, I want to really know, is that not Secretary?
This is Secretary Chris, sir.
Okay, I want to really know the relationship between the ABC and that of the SCBC. Because the people, most of this conference holding in Berlin, the people that usually come out from SCBC, I always hear them, they are always against the against the IT.
Yes.
What I don't really understand. How will this meeting, this conference look like? Because it seems as these people are not really in good accord with the AG.
Well, the conference, you asked for the difference between ABC and SCBC because we hear a lot of negative stuff coming out of SCBC. They think the difference is that ABC is owned by you, the people of Ambazonia. SCBC is functioning more like an opposition party. We don't know what their beef is all about, but ABC shall be the one to do the live broadcast from Berlin. So you can expect good coverage from ABC, sir. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
All right.
Okay, you people are going to hold this meeting in Berlin.
The meeting will be in Berlin, sir.
At Rocky.
Yes, the meeting will take place in Berlin starting Thursday is arrival. Friday, the conference proper start with a demonstration at the Nigerian embassy. We are asking the Nigerian government to obey their own court ruling that freed our President Sisiko Julius Ayuktabe and the rest. Thanks for calling, sir. Yes, again, The conference starts on Friday with a rally at the Nigerian embassy in Berlin to protest or to petition them to obey their own court ruling that asked them to free our president, Sisiko Julius Ayuk-Tabe. That will be the very first event in Berlin. So please, let's all assemble at the Nigerian embassy in Berlin Friday morning for that protest, for that rally. And then from there, we will move into the conference hall where we will get to see every other Ambazonian and listen to inspiring speakers. And you will have the opportunity to contribute and to ask any question that you can. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Finland.
Calling from Finland. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chris, I just have one question for you this evening. I don't know what happened finally with the audit report.
That's a very good question. Thank you for that. What happened finally with the audit report? Now, this is it. This is the information we have not put out yet. And I would seize this opportunity to make some clarification on that. What happened with the audit report? The audit report came out, but we realized it had a lot of problems. Certain items, there were a lot of things that were left out. And after going through it, Cabinet decided that the auditor goes back and work on it again. So it was sent back to the auditor a second time, this time with a committee that he should be working, that he should work with. So that is why you have not heard anything about the audit. I can assure you that once the auditor and the team are finished or done working on it for the second time, you will hear about it. Does that make sense? Hello? I think I lost that caller. All right, but I hope you got the answer there. The audit had issues, had mistakes that were done, and we asked the auditor, Cabinet asked the auditor to go back and redo it and get it right before it is officially put out. Hello? All right. So, all right, please go ahead, make your call, 832-813-3067. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Chris.
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling from Dubai.
Oh, you're calling from Dubai and it's morning now.
Yes, it's already almost 1 a.m.
Okay, what's your question, sir?
I have two legitimate concerns. One is with regard to the conference in Berlin.
Yes?
My question about the conference is, if the German community are sending out a communique that the IDs do not consult them for the conference, is this true? What is the stand of the IDs?
The German community sent out a communique that the interim government did not consult them. Is that what you said?
This is my question, Mark. The first question.
Yes. Now, let me answer your first question. That allegation in that press statement is false. The IG actually had not just a meeting, but several meetings with every southern Cameroonian in Berlin in particular. They had planning meetings. Every faction was invited. Some came, some did not come, and it will surprise you to know that even some of them who issued that press statement attended those planning meetings. I want you to know that what we are seeing out there is politics, and it is pathetic. Because when people are dying, you don't expect grown-up men to sit here and be playing politics with people's lives. They were involved in the planning. They were in meetings that planned this event, and for them to send out any press statement to the effect that they were not properly consulted is nonsense. All right.
To take the long question short, we have actually
Can you raise your voice a little more, sir?
yes, my voice is raised.
Okay.
My second concern goes to ground zero, particularly to the ground zero fighters. What is the IT doing to ensure that these fighters on ground zero are at least sensitized and they have some minimum like compensation, something that can keep them motivated, that cannot keep them off track? Because a lot of fighters don't even know what they are fighting for, and a lot of fighters, I see there is no coordination and there is no like proper.
I think I got your question. I think honestly, it would be an insult to say that the fighters who are fighting don't know what they are fighting for. I think they know what they are fighting for. They are fighting for their country. They are fighting for their rights. They are fighting for their own freedom. What incentives to give them? Yes, that's a legitimate question. I will say, the burden lies upon all of us Ambazonians, to keep those boys motivated. And how can we do that? We can do that by putting in their hands what they need, the tools that they need to do what they have to do. I think there is nothing better than this.
And how do we intend to do that from now? Because
Sir, it boils down to money. I cannot sit here and begin to tell you how we'll go to them, how we'll do this, how we'll do that, but I can say to you, it boils down to money. And that is why we have LGA by LGA, local government by local government, because these local governments know what those boys need, know how to get those things to them. Your responsibility and mine is to get the money into the hands of the local government authorities so they can in turn meet the boys, supply them with what they need.
okay, I think my questions are answered.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. All right. So absolutely, that is everyone's responsibility. It is not just the responsibility of the interim government. It is the responsibility of every Ambazonian to make sure that our boys are catered for. Whichever local government you belong to, you should begin to look for your local government, make your contribution so they can take care of the needs of the boys in your local government. Hello?
This is Ochiba Justin calling from Los Angeles.
Good afternoon, Ochiba.
Yes, I just want to ask a question because, like you said earlier, you said SBC is a private-owned television. Like you told us some time ago that it was a private initiative. And last time I heard Dr. Asho said that it is difficult for Ambazonians to be paying to television. And now they are coming up with calls for Ambazonians to fund the television. So are you people sure that this television has not been paid for by Eno Tabeyan? Is it in the audit or not? And what will happen if we discover that money has been used from Maitituboya and all the like, the webmasters to be paying to continue to pay for SCBC television?
I will not comment on what is in the audit right now until the audit is officially put out there and all expenditure is justified. But listen, talk is cheap, as they say it. They can go out and say SCBC belong to Ambazonians. Ambazonians know they don't own it. Ambazonians know that thing is more than a curse to the revolution than a blessing. And so for any Ambazonian to think, for anybody to think that Ambazonians would pay money for it when it doesn't serve them, I think they are basically dreaming. It's no longer a secret that that SCBC does not belong to Ambazonians. And for even somebody to suggest that, well, maybe you are right that somebody is paying for it from the IG. But until I see the fact, I cannot confirm that. We are all waiting for the audit to come out. What I can say is that Ambazonians know ABC is their channel. Does that answer the question?
Yes, so another question is just about the LG issues. Since I believe that the meeting in Berlin was delayed for some reason, given that all the LG were not yet completed. So I want to ask if by the time we get to Berlin, not all the LG have
Correct. You are very much right. The Berlin conference was delayed because all the LGAs had not been constituted. Right now, not all have been constituted, but at least over 80% have been constituted. That is why we can now go ahead to...
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for the call, sir. 832-813-3067 is the number for you to call. If you have any question about your interim government, about the Berlin conference, about the revolution, please, this is your day. Call that number 832-813 and 3067 and ask your question. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, sir. I can hear you. Go ahead. If you can lower the volume of the set you are listening to, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'm okay now, sir.
That is better. Go on, sir.
Yeah, this is Uncle B at Bruno.
Oh, Uncle B. It's good to hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure about to do something like some sort of exploitation because I was wondering, can you assure Ambazonian people disagree with the government that we are going to Germany as to a sort of a broad-based organization for our government or the Ambazonian people? I'm suggesting, some of my friends already did have it, and you assure us that the Restoration Council that is going to come out of there is going to be a real representative of the LGA members from the LGA that will form the broad-based to give its power back to the people at the center of that country.
So your question is, can I guarantee that coming out of Berlin, we are going to have a Restoration Council that is very representative of our different counties, correct?
Yes, you are right. From the LGA.
From the LGS, correct. Well, I don't want to take the cat out of the bag, but what I can say to you is you can rest assured we will come out of Berlin with a more broad-based, more representative interim government that will represent every shade of opinion and every community that you can imagine in Ambazonia.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Good.
That is one of the reasons we are going to Berlin. By the time we get out of Berlin, we want to see new enthusiasm in the way Ambazonians look at their government. We are hoping that institutions will be revived and fresh people brought in to add energy and to add resources into the interim government, of course, at large, the revolution. Ground Zero is calling. Hello? Hello? All right. You only had one opportunity to call, but I will let you ask a question so that I can give others the opportunity to ask questions, sir.
people are talking like this. The Republic agents are listening, and I'm sure they will be part of that meeting. How far have you prepared the security of our people so that what happened in Naira Hotel should not happen in that meeting? That's my question.
Thank you. I will take your question off the air so that others can have the phone freed for them. Thank you. He is asking what measures have we taken to ensure the security of those who are attending that Berlin conference. Those are security issues, and you know, of course, I cannot sit on television and tell you what security is doing, but what I can say is have no fear, have no concerns. We will go there and we'll all come back in one piece. We will be safe. Every measure has been taken to make sure that everyone attending that conference is safe. All the leaders will be safe. Julius Stefan says, we are in Germany. That will never happen. Nera will never happen. That's what she means in Germany. And Anne Jeanette says, there will be no Nera arrest in Berlin. There will be no Nera arrest in Berlin. Yes. Again, you have any question? I will give how many more minutes? In the next 15 minutes, I will be here for the next 15 minutes. If you have any question, please call. Hello? 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 That phone call apparently isn't coming through. So, hello? Hello? Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so please, I have a question, a very short one.
Go ahead and ask the question, sir.
Julius from Germany.
Julius from Germany. Thanks for calling. Go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah, I just want to ask about the problem between our General Field Marshal and Ayeke. Is there any solution to it?
The problem between Field Marshal and General Ayeke, there is really no problem between the two of them, as you will hear out there. The fact is that General Ayeke betrayed the camp, and the dragons were almost all killed. He himself had escaped the camp. He ran out of the camp before this thing happened, and he was going around and telling people how the red dragons have all been killed, because he knew the plot was there to kill all of them. He didn't know they were not killed. But we found out later he was the link behind the attack that almost killed all of the red dragons. And when it became evident that he was the one behind it, he ran away. He escaped. Nobody pursued him. He ran away on his own. Thank you.
Thank you. I got a good answer. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. 832-813-3067. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any question, then I have to go. Hello, you are live, sir, with Secretary Chris.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Go on, sir.
Yeah, answer the question. It doesn't really mean that IRK was not actually rescued by the ATF at this time.
I wouldn't know who was rescuing Ayeke and for what reason. He left on his own. He escaped on his own. Nobody was pursuing him. So I don't know why anybody would rescue him. Did you get that?
Yeah, it's coming on my screen different. And the next question I wanted to ask Mr. Chris is that how you guys wanted to harmonize the just ended unity conference of Fontaine, DC, and what we're going to have from Germany, because there seems to have been overlapping of functions in the resolution that came out of it and what the IG had. So how is that being handled, sir?
I will leave that in the hands of Berlin. Berlin will decide what they do with those resolutions, and of course, the memorandum of understanding that I saw somebody commenting about earlier on. I think there are some discrepancies in there. Personally, I would really think an association that unites all the leaders, I wouldn't call them frontline leaders, the major leaders, because if you call them frontline leaders, you make the IG a frontline movement. The IG is not a frontline movement. As the name goes, interim government, so it is. So I think there was a little error in the crafting of those resolutions and the memorandum of understanding from DC, because it basically grouped the interim government to come across like any other group. That is a very big mistake they made. But whatever the IG does, I think I will leave it in the hands of Berlin to do so. Thank you. Any other question? All right. I will hear 5 more minutes and I will leave. Hello, sir. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, this is Taku calling from Canada.
This is who, Taku?
Yes.
Calling from Canada. Go on, sir, with a question.
Yeah, my question is, when we look at this resolution, yeah, there seems to be a lot of contribution. Yes.
There seems to be a lot of what? I didn't get that last word.
There seems to be a lot of contributions at it, and a lot of people seem to be discouraged contributing. So, what is the IG doing, to
Thank you. I think I got your question, and you are absolutely right. And what he is saying is there seems to be a lot of contribution fatigue, and I think the assumption is not entirely correct, because I must tell you that the local governments have raised, I believe, more money in about 2 months than what my trip to Boya did in a couple of months. So people are contributing within their local government areas, which is good. But of course, you are right. That is not enough. That is not enough. And we are hoping that coming out from Berlin, there will be renewed enthusiasm that will invigorate people to give more. I mean, I don't know what else can stir people up to give more, considering the number of deaths that we see coming out of ground zero on a daily basis. Hello, Paddy.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, you are live.
Yes, hello, Sir Chris. I want to make a comment about the communique we just released this afternoon about the service interruption of ABC.
Okay.
It has just been brought to my notice that some imposters have included something on it, saying that our funds are finished. So I want to seize this opportunity now that you're live to tell Ambazonians that it is not true. We're having a technical issue, and it is currently being worked upon. I don't know if you mentioned that live. And people should discard. We are not having issues with a satellite company. We are good with our relationship with them. And as soon as the software issue is rectified, we'll come live. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make that rectification.
Well, it's good to make that rectification. Also, let me add that.
Claiming that we are short of funds and that's why we are off air, they have to just discard it immediately.
We are not off air, actually, Paddy. We had, as you rightly said, there was a technical issue which is rectified. We are back off the air, and I think some people calling from ground zero are watching the signals from ground zero. So we are all set. People should ignore those detractors online trying to paint AB. Of course, we know that there are enemies out there, but good to make the correction.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I should seize this opportunity to greet every Amazonian precisely in Germany, waiting for the fee, and all the cabinet members that are going to be represented in Germany. Everything is going smoothly, and
All right, thank you. Let me take this other call. Thank you. Hello, you are live with Secretary Chris, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, how are you doing?
I am doing excellent, sir.
Now, there are these hoodlums in APNC who are trying to, in fact, it does appear they are part of the Ayabacho group. What measures can be taken to silence these noisemakers who we now realize are part of the La Republique clientele?
I don't know whether silencing them is the right thing to do or the right word to use. I would rather just say ignore them. When you find people who have attention deficit issues and they are seeking attention every day, the right thing to do is ignore them, and let them bang their heads. When they are tired, they will go on there.
Yeah, Chris, before you go, there's one thing which is important. The creation of the Southern Cameroon Constitution. For us to be a contender among nations, we need to have a Southern Cameroon Constitution that is generally acclaimed and known by all of us. Can you speak on that, please?
Yes, sir. We have an interim constitution right now that governs the interim government. I believe it is quite premature right now to be writing a permanent constitution until when we have gotten on ground zero and know exactly what form of state that we are adopting. But I think there is also a committee available that is looking at all those things, the possibility of a permanent constitution. But what we have now is a temporal constitution, an interim constitution that guides the interim government in what it does. I don't know if you had anything in particular about a constitution.
No, what I believe is that we should have a federal constitution.
Definitely, will we have that? Definitely, you know, this is something that I don't think I have said it. I think if people who are out fighting one another understood what the meaning of interim government is, they would come together, work with the interim government, we get to Buea. Because one thing that we do, when the interim government gets to Buea, it is not going to be permanent. That is why it is called interim now. When it gets to Buea, it has only about 3 years or 4 years. And what will it do within those 3 or 4 years? It will have the responsibility of putting on table a permanent constitution for the Federal Republic, it will have the responsibility of setting up an independent election commission or electoral commission. It will also have the third responsibility of creating the atmosphere for people to create their political organizations or parties. If people understood this, and let me also add one thing, the person that leads the interim government to Boya shall not stand any election, I think, according to the interim constitution, for the next 4 years or 8 years. So, when the playing field is leveled for elections to take place, the leader who take the interim government to Boya cannot contest elections. So all this positioning and infighting that we see is useless. If they understood this, they will come, we will work together, knowing that when we get to Boya, not the present leader will stand elections. He will be banned from standing elections, at least the very first elections. So, but he will have the responsibility to make sure an electoral commission, an independent electoral commission is created, political parties are formed, and then a constitution is also put in place. And then elections will be organized. Whosoever wins the elections become the ruling party. I don't know whether this makes sense to you.
It does. I agree with you. It's just that the existence of a constitution generally gives confidence to some particular group of persons who think that because of the too much killing done by our brothers from the Northwest would not be healthy for some of us.
Well, I can assure you we will get there. We will get there and it will be done. Thanks for calling, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure coming to you today. At this moment, I will have to exit, and I hope to see all of you, especially in Europe, in Berlin. I look forward to seeing all of you in Berlin. I will be there myself. Thanks for joining today. God bless you all.